Last night at TLC 2020, The Miz finally cashed in his Money in the Bank contract during the WWE Championship match between Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles, when it seemed as though The Miz would have a clear advantage to potentially win the WWE title for the second time in his career, and once Miz cashed in, the WWE title bout at TLC became a triple threat match. However, in the end, The Miz failed his Money in the Bank cash-in, with Drew McIntyre managing to climb the ladder and retain his WWE title, and for many of The Miz's fans, this was a big disappointment. Some new behind-the-scenes rumors have been leaked regarding why The Miz lost his Money in the Bank cash-in to Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles at TLC 2020, and quite honestly, the reason is fairly simple. While Vince McMahon had contemplated the idea of having The Miz successfully cash in the contract at TLC 2020 and walk out of the pay-per-view the new WWE champion in a shock title change, apparently McMahon came to the conclusion that with Monday Night Raw's ratings and viewership recently hitting all-time lows, the WWE cannot afford to make any mistakes or decisions that could lower fan interest more than they already have in recent months. And we have been told that Vince feels The Miz just isn't a big enough name to draw in fans to tune into Monday Night Raw if he were to be WWE champion, and could quite literally make the company's viewership drop even more if he were to be the champion instead of Drew McIntyre, who has been booked far stronger and more credible as the flagship show's world champion. With the USA Network reportedly furious with WWE for the record low viewership on Raw recently, Vince felt the company could not afford to take any chances with The Miz winning the WWE title and potentially lowering the ratings anymore, hence why the A-lister lost his cash-in last night. As well, one of our sources has mentioned that now that The Miz is no longer Mr. Money in the Bank, The Miz and John Morrison will apparently be rejoining the tag team division hunt on Raw in the coming weeks, with McMahon feeling The Miz and Morrison are solid talents but not main event material anymore, and should instead be utilized to add some excitement to the tag team division. Roman Reigns has definitely had his plate full over on Friday Night SmackDown as the reigning Universal Champion, with Roman Reigns most recently having a successful, yet hard-fought title defense at the TLC 2020 pay-per-view event against Kevin Owens. While it's very probable that WWE will continue with the Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns storyline on SmackDown for a bit longer, and perhaps somehow also include Daniel Bryan into the mix as well, if a shocking new backstage rumor proves to be true, the superstar who will be putting an end to Roman Reigns' dominant Universal Championship run in the very near future is none other than the Beast Incarnate Brock Lesnar. Over much of the past several months, there have been conflicting rumors regarding which brand that Brock Lesnar would be returning on between Raw and Friday Night SmackDown, but apparently Fox Sports have told Vince McMahon that they want Brock Lesnar to be featured on SmackDown, which is the brand that is supposed to have a more real sports feel to it, and with Lesnar's background in mixed martial arts, Brock is a perfect fit for Friday Night SmackDown. As of right now, rumors indicate that Brock Lesnar will be making his surprise return on SmackDown within the next couple of weeks, with Brock demanding an opportunity at Roman Reigns' Universal Championship, with WWE reportedly going to book a title match between Lesnar and Reigns on an episode of Friday Night SmackDown early next year, with Brock Lesnar shockingly winning the Universal Championship after Paul Heyman turns on Roman Reigns and realigns with Lesnar. As we have reported in many previous videos, Vince doesn't think that Roman Reigns needs Paul Heyman by his side anymore, and thinks that having Heyman turn on Reigns to realign with Brock Lesnar will be the perfect opportunity for WWE to have a huge surprise title change on SmackDown to boost ratings, while at the same time not having Roman lose cleanly to Brock, considering Heyman would interfere on Lesnar's behalf, thus making a rematch between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns an easy and marketable storyline to move ahead with. Thankfully for Sasha Banks' loyal fans, the boss managed to retain her SmackDown Women's Championship against Carmella at the TLC 2020 pay-per-view event in what was definitely a pretty solid match. And while there were some rumors going around that WWE were considering having Carmella defeat Sasha Banks at TLC for the SmackDown Women's title, due to the fact that Vince feels Carmella is worthy of a big push, that did not end up happening. And if a new backstage report proves to be true, the recently returning Carmella is reportedly not going to be a long-term feud or storyline for Sasha Banks on the blue brand, and could very well be over after the TLC 2020 event. A new behind-the-scenes rumor has revealed that WWE are planning for Bianca Belair to be Sasha Banks' next challenger for the SmackDown Women's title, with WWE planning to wrap up Belair's short-term storyline with Bayley very soon, and apparently Bianca Belair will be turning heel again in the near future, and demanding that she gets a chance at Sasha Banks' SmackDown Women's Championship. If these rumors prove to be true, it looks as though Belair could be the superstar to put an end to Sasha Banks' reign as champion early next year, perhaps at the 2021 Royal Rumble event. Let us know your thoughts on WWE planning a Sasha Banks vs Bianca Belair storyline in the near future. And do you think that Belair should be the women's division star to end Sasha Banks' reign as SmackDown Women's Champion? Seth Rollins has been gone from WWE for several weeks now, after Seth decided to take the rest of 2020 off to spend time with his wife Becky Lynch and their newborn baby daughter Rue. But apparently WWE have already planned Seth Rollins' return well in advance, with multiple rumors indicating that Seth Rollins will return at the 2021 Royal Rumble event as a babyface and is strongly being favored behind the scenes to be the winner of the 2021 Men's Royal Rumble match next year. As we mentioned earlier in the video, WWE are planning for Roman Reigns to have a feud with Brock Lesnar to begin 2021 and possibly lose the Universal title to Lesnar. But there are new leaked backstage reports going around that by the time WrestleMania 37 comes around, Roman Reigns will once again be the Universal Champion and WWE will have a big Seth Rollins vs Roman Reigns match for the Universal Championship in one of the two main events of the Showcase of the Immortals next year, with Seth Rollins likely to win the title from Reigns. There's no doubt that Charlotte Flair completely shocked and surprised most wrestling fans last night at TLC 2020 when she made her big return to WWE as Asuka's mystery tag team partner for Asuka's women's tag team title match against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. As you would expect, the new dominant team of Charlotte Flair and Asuka managed to defeat Baszler and Nia Jax after a hard-fought match and win the women's tag team championships. However, while Asuka and Charlotte Flair is about as formidable of a tag team you could ever want or desire in the women's tag team division, perhaps not surprisingly, current backstage rumors reveal that Charlotte's partnership with Asuka won't be lasting very long at all. Apparently, WWE have already planned for Charlotte Flair to turn on Asuka within the next couple of weeks during one of their title defenses on Raw, perhaps at the beginning of the new year, with Charlotte Flair costing her and Asuka the women's tag team titles, and setting her sights on Asuka's Raw Women's Championship. We have been told that Charlotte Flair will in fact be winning the Raw Women's title from Asuka almost immediately after she turns on the Empress of Tomorrow, in an effort to boost fan interest in Raw's women's division, and Charlotte will likely be getting her opportunity at the gold at the 2021 Royal Rumble.